Hi again, Dominators, and welcome to my second attack against the lab, one of the strongest alliances we have met. And this is my first attack against 198 level base. And if you look at this this guy's base, or actually this girl's base, I mean, I don't see a single defensive building that is not maxed out. So it will be very interesting battle. And actually, this is the first war why I actually went ahead and completed my War Academy, because I felt that I need my War Academy to plan this perfect attack, because it's extremely difficult base to tackle. And without further ado, let's jump into the War Academy. So this is the base I'm facing, and first of all, the location of the base is built to the top corner. As you can see, the center of the map is actually quite below, so there are two important quadrants, the top left and the top right hand side. So I was considering my initial drops between two locations, either next to the embassy or next to the alliance gate, because these two starting points would allow me to support my army with air units, my fighter planes. And that is extremely important versus a maxed out base, because there's a lot of troops spawning from the buildings like factories and so on, and of course all the defensive spawning buildings. So and as you can see, this guy also has a forbidden city. So first thing I always do is then look at, is there a perfect rally location where I could take down both town center and forbidden city with the same rally. And you can see actually that in the middle of the map here, in the under the fourth placement, there is a tiny place where I could take down both Forbidden City and Town Center, because it's in the both of the ranges. You can see the Forbidden City and the Town Center, where I can reach with my Howitzers, are actually here, matching. But the problem with this rally location, I guess I don't have to tell you, you can see yourself that this is close to impossible to rally to. And also this area here, it's without the walls, so if I would start my attack from this side or this side, my troops would go crazy, and I definitely don't want to start from the bottom to reach the town center rally location here, because I cannot support my army at all with my air units like this. So if I actually do my drop somewhere next to the alliance gate, then first thing I need to do is sabotage the town center, because you definitely don't want to fight those Howitzers. And the town center is so close. You can see whenever my troops would move somewhere next to this wall, then the town center would start spawning right away. And actually I chose the start location next to the alliance gate, and the reason is because from this side I can have a rally location where I can also take down the fourth. From this side it will be much harder to do so, and you can see this guy has almost maxed out generals as well, so you don't want to fight those bad boys either. So the plan is as following. I would actually start off with a sabotage, and you can see that there's a perfect sabotage location where I can disable mortar, anti-tank gun, tower and the town center, and that's what I will be aiming for. Then I would do my drop, and you can see that this is why it's important to reach also the mortar, because the drop that I'm aiming for is actually in the range of mortar and the redoubt tower. So that can, and it's a maxed out redoubt tower, so it can potentially take down my Howitzer and ranged infantry army quite fast. The plan would be actually to use a two-finger drop, so that some of the troops would be spawning next to the redoubt tower and some of them next to the tower, so that I would clear the redoubt as fast as possible as well, because I don't want it to start hitting my ranged infantry. And as a third move, I would use Blitzkrieg in the center of, basically on the bottom half of the fort, because that can reach all the important defensive buildings together with the bunkers and everything, and as well as the tank T-bows. As a fourth move, I would send my fighter planes from this side of the map. So for that I need to choose this tower bottom corner somewhere here to rally my air units, because then they would come in a totally safe side, because the anti-air defense as well as the tower here would cause a lot of harm to my air units if I would rally them from this side. I want to take it down because then I can more easily support afterwards as well with my air units. As a fifth move, I would then sabotage the fourth mortar and the anti-tank gun, because by that time I can imagine that the Blitzkrieg might be over, and my troops would be somewhere around this area, because my rally location would be here in the corner of the tank depot. Why I chose this rally location instead somewhere here was because what I want to achieve with my rally location is take down the fort, because I don't want to fight those generals, and then move further to take down the Forbidden City. And this rally location is better than this in the middle of the base, in my opinion, is because there's a lot of free space here, and I'm expecting this is filled with traps, so I don't want to go there. I know that this corner, for example, is definitely trap free, so that's what I'm aiming for. As a seventh move, I would use a decoy somewhere next to the fourth, because that will reach all this area, and if there is something spawning from this bunker, for example, this heavy tank would then move towards here next to the Forbidden City. Then I would use sabotage on this anti-tank gun as well as the mortar and the bunker to avoid the second heavy tank spawning, as well as defend or disable also the anti-tank gun, because what I want to do is then take control of the heavy tank that spawns here with my betrayal, and this heavy tank can then help me clear this Forbidden City. And while this is sabotaged or disabled, I will make sure that the heavy tank will stay alive. Then I would spawn my Kahn next to the embassy, because the Kahn is crazy. I mean, this guy has over 1000 damage and the range 5 range. And what is especially good about the Kahn is that actually Kahn can shoot over the walls, just like Howitzer. So this guy, I can imagine, would basically clear, quarter of the base by himself, because he will also reach the anti-tank gun without harm's way as well. So I hope that this Kahn will clear out this air defenses from here as well. Then I can start supporting my troops also from this side of the map. And basically, I hope that this is enough to win the battle. Also, I want to say special thanks to everybody who wrote in the comments in my last video, because as I said, I made a couple of mistakes already in the planning phase, and I got a lot of good ideas and helpful tips how to improve my attacks. So thanks for that, and I hope that you will find mistakes in this attack as well, and will have another comments for me to learn from. Actually, and probably a lot of you already spotted one big mistake that I made in planning this attack, and this mistake was Kahn ties. Because this was quite in a quick session after my previous attack against the lab, and after this attack I learned that it's very important to start your attack with taking down the Kahn ties if it's still there from the special event. And then I noticed that this Kahn ties has only 1500 hit points, so basically you can easily start the attack by taking it down with the demolition. Just one tactic for that, and you will see in the attack that this one tactic spent on the Kahn ties is well worth it. Okay, let's jump into the attack. So let's see what I brought to this attack as an army composition. Again, went with 10 Howitzers and 8 tanks. And from the tactics, as you saw from the War Academy, I had 3 sabotage, 1 protect, gladiator strength, and of course I had 1 betrayal because this was part of my attack. And as you can see, I missed my sabotage on the mortar, and I have one small excuse for that as well, is that I was still playing with this tiny iPhone 5, because my real phone was actually in the service, so I was really struggling with the small screen. But nevertheless, it actually worked out fine, because the mortar was neglected by my 3 supply trucks. And as you can see here, more or less everything works as I planned. The decoy took quite nicely the heavy tank, and now I can use my betrayal on it. And actually I had a nice surprise. I missed the bottom bunker with my sabotage, so I got 2 heavy tanks instead of 1 with my betrayal. And but most importantly, I would like to of course point out that the big mistake I had in my planning was that I didn't take care of the Kahn ties, and this guy, I mean, it demolished half of my army, not half, almost all of my army. He took down 3 generals and 10 Howitzers, just all by himself basically. So it's extremely important, guys, to in the next time when there's a Kahn event, I mean, take down the Kahn ties before you attack. It's well worth one tactic, because now I was really struggling to properly clear the base, because I had no heavy damage dealers. Luckily I had my Kahn on my own, so this Kahn here from the top, I mean, it demolished half of the base just by himself. So Kahn versus Kahn attack this time, and luckily I emerged victorious on this. Also on the War Academy, I forgot to show that as usual, with my second rally I of course used my protect and the gladiator strength as well. But other than that, the attack went pretty smooth. At least I was able to complete all my plans. Just the big mistake about the Kahn ties almost lost me 5 stars. Thanks.